Cheers.
Cheers.
And welcome to the Afternoon Pint. I'm Mike Tobin.
I am Matt Conrad.
Cheers. Joe D'Annunzio from BrokerLink.
Hey, Joe.
Nice to be with you guys.
Nice to be with you. Yeah, we really appreciate you having you on the show here with us. We intended to have this pint in person, but unfortunately, you had an injury just before you were coming to visit Nova Scotia. So I'm really glad we could still make this happen, even though it's not our normal conventional method at a bar after hours, after work. So thank you.
You guys owe me some wings, though.
Next time you're down, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So Joe, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do today.
So a little bit about myself. I'm married 35 years. She's the rock behind the family, my wife, Michelle. Two daughters. I was so very proud of them. Both just got married in the last couple of years. I just had my first grandson, which I'm over the moon with. His name is Joey. So
Congratulations. Yeah.
Got there. And so I've been in the industry 35 years. Today, I'm president of BrokerLink. I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to be in this position. It's a wonderful gig. I don't look at it as hard. I just look at it as a joy, and just thrilled just to be in the industry, what it gives back. I'm very grateful for what I have. And running BrokerLink has been a challenge, but have been huge rewards. And so the people I get to deal with every day, you can't beat that. Something different every day. And so I'm thrilled to be here.
Now, BrokerLink's a pretty big organization. So for folks that don't know exactly, how many employees are in BrokerLink now?
We're, depending on the month, because we do quite a bit of acquisitions, we're about 5,000 employees, coast to coast.
Wow.
We operate in every province. We don't have a physical location in PEI, even though we operate there. $5 billion we hit this year in DWP, which is a nice milestone for us. And so, it's cool. We just went into British Columbia last year. That was pretty cool. First time there. And
cool.
Yeah.
Before you became president of BrokerLink, I mean, it's fair to say to anybody listening that nobody just gets into insurance, right? They all kind of fall into it one way or another. So what did young Joe want to do when he was a kid?
Be a professional soccer player.
Oh, okay.
I heard this. I heard that you had a scholarship.
Yeah. So I did play soccer at UCLA for a year or two. But I wasn't good enough for pro. And so you get humbled real quick, right? You play your whole life. I was on the all-star teams and everything in my local hometown. And then you go to a Division I school to try to play there, and your eyes are open because everybody was their star in their hometown as well, right? And so,
where was your local hometown at?
Niagara Falls.
I grew up wow. So you're an Ontario guy through and through.
I'm an Ontario guy through and through. And so when I figured out pretty quick I wasn't going to be a pro, you turn your sights, okay, let's take advantage of this and let's get a good education. And I got a business degree and I majored in economics. And and so that's young Joe. He always wanted to be a soccer player, but that never worked out, and went to university. And then I answered an ad. It intrigued me. I was looking for a job. I wanted to get out of the house, living with my parents. I'm in my early 20s, and it was a management trainee advertisement in the paper for Allstate Insurance, and I applied. I didn't even know what a management trainee in insurance did, but it sounded good. Got hired, and that's the start of my career. I had no idea, but.
It's funny. A lot of people in the insurance industry say that it's very much fallen in. If your parents didn't run a brokerage or something like that,
right,
you just fall into it. But it's certainly a good career to fall into. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And I played competitive sports. Played football in high school, basketball. I played soccer, obviously, and I love the team aspect. I thought I was a pretty good leader. And so I wanted to get into some management position where I can lead people. And so first ad I answered was Allstate, and the rest is history.
You've done a lot of different things kind of throughout your career,
Yeah.
and kind of early on. How long were you at Allstate for?
5 years. I was again management trainee, became a supervisor, got promoted to a manager, and I wanted to climb the corporate ladder like everybody else, but they told me I had to go and sell insurance, and if I was successful,
Mm.
then I can continue to climb the corporate ladder because, and so I became an agent. I'm a broker now, but I was an agent back then, and back then at the time, Allstate sold life insurance as well as
Right.
Yeah.
PNC, right? And so I got to tell you, if you can sell life insurance, you can sell pretty much anything. That was a tough gig. And so did that and did that successfully for 2 years. Then I got married and I got married to an American. My wife is American, and we decided to start a family, but we thought we'd move our careers to the US, more opportunity. And I thought I'm up for it, different experience. And so I left Allstate and went over to the US and spent 10 years there.
How'd you meet your wife?
Oh, funny story. Probably like a lot of people, I broke up with somebody else and I decided to go on a trip with my buddies to Mexico.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
And my first day on the one we were there for a week for vacation, just me and three other buddies, and I met her the first day and we hung out by the pool.
Cool.
A week, got to know her and exchanged numbers and had a long distance relationship for a while until we decided he was serious. Yeah.
So
That's
where's
great.
your wife from?
When I met her, she was living in San Diego.
Oh,
And
so really long distance.
really, yeah, I was in Toronto and she was in San Diego, 3,000 miles. And I remember her not wanting to leave sunny California. And
Mm.
I didn't want to leave Toronto because my career was doing well. And she ended up coming my way, I guess.
Yeah.
I won that one, but I hope she doesn't regret it.
Well, but you said you spent some time down in the US.
Yeah,
then,
after we got married, so we dated for a couple of years, and then after we got married, we decided to move. But New York State, which was close to Ontario, and then Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, but we did not go back to California, which I'm sure she was a little bit disappointed in.
Right on. So going back to you saying you started out as an agent, like, what were some of your early challenges as an agent?
Look, I guess the pros back then, when I started, Allstate was a brand name. And so that was kind of cool. You didn't have to explain yourself with a company that nobody knew about. So that was a pro, I would say. The other thing back then is the Allstate booths, they were called booths, not offices, because it was literally a counter with an office behind, were all located in Sears stores. There was a relationship with Sears back then. And so the booth that I worked in the Sears store was right beside the photography in a Sears store and the appliances. And it was strategically because people that go buy appliances usually buy their first house or whatever. And then babies, firstborns go to the Sears store back then and get their photo taken, professional photo, right?
Right on.
And so I'd sit up at the booth and just chat with people and, did you buy a new house and try to, I asked, do you need home insurance or your first baby, do you have life insurance, young couples? So that was an advantage. But, back then you guys are too young, but I was put in a room and they tore a couple pages out of the white telephone book pages and said, go in the back room and cold call this whole page. And there's probably 200 numbers on those old telephone books.
Yeah.
It was all cold calling back then. Like, I don't think most people do cold calling today of that variety. So it was a grind. And I remember, my first sales manager telling me, I'm going in and I'm telling them, man, everybody's hanging up or they're saying no. He goes, that's a good thing. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And, well, for every 10 no's, you're going to get one yes. And you do 100 calls, you're going to get 10 yeses and you're going to sell 4 of those. And it was a numbers game. And so that got drilled into me and it works. But you got to get a lot of no's to get that that appointment to get the bind. And so it was a grind. And I'm not, today we don't do that. We make our phones ring for most of our folks. And then they get referrals and they build up a reputation and then they go out, right? Like, but back then is you just cold call and people hung up on you. What's this and what's that? So
Why do you think that shift happened in the industry where it's like you had to be more outbound, say in like the 90s versus now where it's like it's just flocking
yeah,
in?
well, no computers back then.
Okay.
Right? Like today,
Yep.
you want insurance, you Google car insurance, and BrokerLink or somebody will pop up. You make a call, we'll push it to one of our brokers, right? There's no digital, and so I think in the broker space we were an agent, but the broker space they had the little office in the towns, and they would write people in their towns, right? To get to know people through little league hockey or Sunday soccer or at the grocery store. But there was no computers, none of that. And so no cell phones. So you had to call from I remember having the rotary number dialing 50 to 100 calls a night. And people, you call them at night because they weren't home during the day and they didn't carry cell phones. So, and I remember going, most of my appointments were after dinner in the customer's kitchen. That's how we did it. And, we've changed a lot, quite a bit, I think. But it taught me discipline, especially. Like if I was going to make any money on it, if I was going to be successful, you had to have the discipline to do the 50, 100 calls, and then as you guys know, as you get a bit more successful and sell a few policies and treat them well, and they know that you know your stuff, then you ask for referrals, and over time the book gets bigger and a lot less cold calling because then it's just referral business based on a good reputation, right? And so I also had the one advantage I had because this was in the Toronto area. I spoke Italian. I was
Oh
born
yeah.
there. I came to Canada when I was 2, but that's my first language. And Toronto had a huge Italian population, and I would put an ad in the local Italian paper and said, "Hey, if you guys need insurance," but my parents always spoke broken English, were never comfortable in that setting. But I said, "I speak the language. I'll take care of you." And so I got a lot of calls through that, which was kind of cool and helped give back to my community back then that they could trust someone that would take care of their needs, right?
I
Smart.
think yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, it's would you say that the industry is like because of that, because you had to do so much night work, the industry is shifted now to a more like family friendly environment?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you try calling 50 people at night now, you know what's going to happen with cell phones. They'll block you, and we didn't have that technology back then. There was no call ID. You didn't know who was calling you, right?
Right.
The world has changed. I don't think that would work today. What hasn't changed is folks still look for in insurance someone that they can trust, someone that they know, preferably, or get to know. And so, that's why our model, we have 230 locations, is different because we don't think that just being in one or two spots and trying to sell nationally would work. We want to be in the communities. We want to be local. You want to give back. I think people appreciate that still and still go to the local insurance broker, especially we look in suburban and rural areas, and maybe the Toronto area people are fine with digital and stuff, but some of the towns where you guys are at in Atlantic Canada and some of the towns in Alberta and Ontario, they prefer just to get in the car, drive to Main Street, and speak to the person across the way, right, if they have a problem, right? So I think that hasn't changed. It's a relationship business. It was back then. How you get those customers probably has changed the most.
That actually is a really good segue into kind of the next part that we wanted to like talk about, which is breaking the stereotype of insurance. As everybody knows, there's a lot of negative stereotypes
Yeah.
that focus around insurance people. Why don't you like kind of walk us through why insurance isn't just about policies and premiums?
Yeah, I mean, if you step back and really, what is insurance for? Like people can't own businesses, people can't own homes, people can't drive without insurance. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
And so you need it. and it's a necessary evil, if you will say. It's a product that you buy and spend quite a bit of money because it is expensive, and you hope you never use the product, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's the premise of insurance.
Pretty much, yeah.
You're going to pay $1,000 or whatever it is to get protection, which is really peace of mind, and you hope you never use that product. Because if you do, that means you've had a car accident, you've had a fire, you had a burglary, you had a water loss, whatever. I mean, same with a business, right? And
Yep.
so you're willing to spend some money to give you peace of mind at night if that happens, that you're protected, right? And so, but you wish you never use it. And so, it's a different product. When I spend $1,000 on a bike or something, it's because I'm looking forward to get home and using it. And here we are
Yeah.
saying we hope never to use it. So I think just the premise of insurance sometimes is tough. That's why people are like, I can't believe it costs this much and so forth. But I can tell you, because I've been out to some claims just as in my roles, man, people are grateful when something does happen, and then they call you and say, I just had a fire and this burned down, and we say, don't worry, it's all covered. I mean, we only see that like 8-9% of the time, because I think the statistic is 9% of people have claims 10%, right? But to see
Yeah.
someone's face, and I go back to, wow, 1987 with Allstate, and I was selling life insurance 1988, and I got a note from a younger woman in her 40s. She lost her husband, tragic accident, and she just sent me a note saying she appreciated I had sold her a life insurance, and it was their first life insurance policy. And I remember selling it to them, and the husband was just pissed at me because I was taught, when you selling life insurance, make sure, most guys back, when they're young, they're fearless. They think they'll never die. We're invincible. I think that too. So when I was young, right? And so, but it's the woman who had the kids who was like, no, no, we need it, dear. We need it, sweetie. And she kind of pushed him into it. And he probably gave me a couple of looks like, what the hell are you doing, man? And but she sent me a note. Now it was tragic in that, he passed on early. But she says, if I didn't have this, I don't know what I would have done. And so, thank you. It was a couple months later. I remember I kept that note.
Mm.
And I don't do life insurance anymore. I do PNC, as you guys know, but I've always in the back of my mind remembered that note. And we're here to help people. I know it's just a slogan, but if you look at our purpose at BrokerLink, we're here to help people. That's it. Sometimes that's forgotten through all the stuff you go through, price increases, missed the payment here and there. You guys know. I mean, it's tough for customers, but when you peel it all back and something happens, most people are just grateful that they had it. And yes, it's going to be tough to get back and rebuild and stuff, but at least they don't have to worry how, right? So,
100%. Yeah.
yeah.
In general, the wide variety of career options within the insurance industry.
Yeah.
It's not just selling insurance, obviously. And how do you think young professionals or any professional, even if they come into the insurance industry at 40 or 50, how could professionals develop and get into leadership roles, in your opinion?
The nice thing about insurance careers, first of all, most people fall into it by accident. I think we said that at the beginning. But it is a relationship business, and there are so many avenues you can go into today. You don't even want, if you don't want to sell insurance, because the pure thought of selling insurance with that, which I think is pretty cool, but if that for whatever reason turns you off, we have digital, we have SEO experts, SEM experts, we have finance people, we have communications staff, we have a marketing team, we have HR professionals, we have legal, and we have leaders, managers. If you want to lead people, would it help to have insurance background? Absolutely. But if you're a strong leader, we can develop you courses and stuff that you can lead people. So it's endless, the opportunity. So you don't have to sell insurance to be successful. I did it because I enjoyed it, and I think it's made me a better leader because I understand the journey of an account executive, what it takes to build a book, what it takes to sell a policy. Some people like that's not hard. It's hard to keep customers. That's really hard. And I went through that, so I think it makes me a better leader, understanding that. But you absolutely can be a good leader without going through that, as long as you learn the business, right? But it's endless, the opportunities.
What advice do you
Yeah.
have for people that don't think insurance is an exciting career or like,
It's that's they just don't know much about it. Like I didn't know much about it. I thought when I answered that ad, I'll be there for 2 years and get a resume going, and I can do other things. And 35 years later, I'm still in it. I People that accidentally get into insurance, they stay in insurance. That's why you see people having 20, 30, 40-year careers. So it's recession proof, whether we're in a recession or in good times, people need insurance. So when there's hard times, you get, different companies, whether they're telecommunications or banks or something, there's layoffs. We don't, because we always need insurance. So it's recession proof if you're young. You can go into different verticals, not just sales. And it's a people business, and every day is different. And if you enjoy people, then wow, what a business to be in, right? So those are three reasons why I think young people coming out of university should think, wow, maybe I don't know about it, but maybe I should learn about it before I decline to even explore it, right? You owe it to yourself to explore where you'll be happy. And it's a good living, right? I mean,
Yeah.
right?
It's interesting to say that you were going to be in there for only 2 years, and the fact that you also said it's a people business, because I do know that this industry has also given you one of your closest friends, you know, in just in your personal life as well. I assume that you guys met at Allstate, so that's
I have three. I mean, you are they best friends? Absolutely. I have three friends from Allstate that I met in 1985, and I only worked with for 4 years.
hmm.
We went through everything together. They're still my best buddies now. We we attend all events, weddings, and birthdays, and they're my go-to guys. I got a couple buddies from high school, like everybody does, right?
right.
But from my career, all the friendships and relationships I've made since, um, I've mentored quite a few people. I have some VPs now that mentor my daughter. One of my daughters is in the industry, and that's pretty cool because my daughter got to meet them just through me. So people give back. But yeah, I mean, everything I have, including my best friends, is a result from, and things, of course, are as a result of this industry. And I owe it a lot. So I have nothing but good things to say about this industry. And yeah, for young people that might be listening or looking to, when they graduate, to absolutely explore it. I don't think you will regret it.
Yeah, I know I've often kind of said that even if you come out of school with a degree or something, if you have an insurance license, you'll never be without work.
Right. And if you have a work ethic, you'll never starve.
Right.
You If you have a work ethic, there are tools and things we can do where we can get you to make a good living. We can help that part. You're not on your own where back then they put you in a room like they did me and said call 100 people from this telephone book. That's just not the case today. We spend a lot of money to make the phone ring for our folks. We give them every opportunity to succeed. It's just they have to just be willing to come to work and work hard and be disciplined, and you can have a real good living. You guys know that, but if people didn't know that, that's all you need, really.
And that actually is a good kind of also segue to like the next part that we wanted to talk about. You said that you make the phone ring for your folks. So that kind of leads us into a really interesting topic about technology and how it's changed insurance. How do you make the phone ring for your folks?
Yeah, I mean, look, first you need a brand name, right? So we're lucky enough at BrokerLink that we have a good brand name. People recognize it, that it's insurance. We've been around since 1991. The web today, right? Like anything you need, forget insurance for a second, but anything you need. The first thing I do when I'm looking for something, right now I was just looking for some shades, blinds for one of our rooms. I went to the internet and I Googled blinds near me, um, and then it shows up 5 businesses, right? For auto insurance, it's the same thing. People shop auto insurance, like auto insurance near me, right? And so our size and scale allows us to do so many things that others don't. And so we get 40,000 hits to our website every single month.
Wow.
40,000. So we push those leads, people that are asking, some aren't asking just insurance, some are just coming to see what's on, but the ones that are saying, I'm interested in getting some insurance, or I have a problem with insurance or whatever. Now we push those to our insurance advisors, to our sales teams, and to our account executives. We never had that back then. So that's one way. We spend quite a bit of money on generating marketing leads. And then we use our data to make sure that our customers are protected. So if somebody has auto insurance, we talk to them about their home, of course, and we push that. So we push from different places, and we're lucky enough to have a parent company that helps us with their when they have customers that call because they're a manufacturer, and gives us some leads from there. So you put all that together, and we have more than leads than we like. It's a wonderful thing to have, but we make our phones ring all day. We get 15,000 calls a day. Not all sales, of course, is service. A lot of service in there, but that's what happens when you have a good reputation of getting good service, that people are trusting your brand, and that when they contact you, you follow through and you give them the right coverages and things like that. We have choice. So we have over 100 markets, which will fit anybody's needs with a company that fits their needs. So we have all the ingredients to do that. And that's why I say if somebody wants to get into business, and, you know, um, when I was young, I wanted to make money. I'm going to be very honest with you. It wasn't anything noble. It was just, I want to make a lot of money. And that's why I went into sales, because someone convinced me, if you work hard. And I remember sitting down with my sales manager on a piece of paper. He's like, how much do you want to make this year? That was my first sales kind of lesson. I go, what are you talking about? And he's like, how much do you want to make this year? Right. And so I threw out a number, and he said, okay, you work backwards. I'm sure you guys have done that routine. And you work backwards. Let's say it was 50K back then. Okay, the average premium is this, the average commission is this. That means you're going to sell 3 out of 10 calls, and you have to do 100 calls to get 10 calls. And he's like, okay, you got to do 82 calls a day or 120 calls a week, and you can make your 50K. And he says, I can guarantee you will if you stay disciplined. So just throw out a number and how much can you make, and work backwards and put the effort in. So that was quite as straightforward for me, right?
Yeah. Getting into this new world of AI and automation and all that fun stuff, I'm sure you spend a lot of time just kind of navigating through this new evolution.
Yeah.
I mean, what are your thoughts and feelings on it, of how it's going to impact customers and employees?
I think first and foremost, we're in an era where cybersecurity is for me, top of mind, whatever we do. There is a lot of there's a lot of bad actors out there that you have to make sure that your systems is protected, that all the customers' information is private. And so as we get into AI and use more technology, you've got to have a very strong first line of defense. I think all brokers, no matter what size, small, big, medium, need to make sure that they're protecting their data and their customers' data. I think that's first and foremost in today's world. After that, it's wow, the possibilities, right? Like, we've introduced AI in our operation, as you guys know. Um, an AI can now review someone's policy and compare it to their new policy in about 30 seconds, come up with the coverage differences, and say to one of our insurance advisors, this, Mr. Smith's new policy went up $100, and here's why. Boom, boom, boom. AI can do that now, whereas before AI, the insurance advisor would have to review last year's policy, gonna go into the renewal, look at a comparison and figure it out. We can do it and take about 30 minutes. We have now a chat bot that can do that for the insurance advisor quickly, and also say they're missing this, and this coverage. So that is pretty cool.
Mm.
We have a chat bot. Her name is Brianna on our website. So if a customer wants to chat or wants to do a change, the chat bot, the AI can do it for them. One of the coolest things is most brokers are open 9 to 5, but I do my bills on Sunday night, like at 10 p.m. and because banking allows me. With us now, because of AI, customer Saturday night wants to do an address change or see what their bill payment is. They can go into our new BrokerLink Connect, which is our new app, and they can look into it with a password, or they can go on the website and say, I want to change, and the chatbot does it, gives it to a person the next day, and it's done. So they don't even have to wait till we're open. That's the kind of cool stuff that AI and technology allows us to do, right? That's I think next 5 years, it'll revolutionize how brokers operate. But at the end of the day, it won't replace employees because we are a people business, and Matt or Mike, you have to still talk to the customer across from you. The AI will make your job easier and the experience better and give you at your fingertips what you need. But at the end of the day, we're still professionals, we're still licensed, and we still have to give that advice that AI can't, right?
How do you, yeah, I mean, it's kind of an interesting way of like kind of balance that relationship between like human relationships and digital convenience. Do you see at all that people might prefer to not deal with people like customers? Do you see that at all?
I think they do their research now without people. So, and I'm thinking especially the younger generation. Look, my daughter, one of my daughters, she's 28. She doesn't talk on the phone. She doesn't pick up the phone and talk. She texts, right? She doesn't even email anymore. Let's just be honest. So I think this generation is not even the young generation. What we're seeing more of is someone is thinking of shopping for auto. They go on the internet and they put in all their stuff in different companies and say, give me a quote. But at the end of the day, before they hit bind, first of all, most can't offer that. But even if they could, they pick up the phone because it's legal contract. They want to make sure that they've got the right coverages, and you can't do that digitally without talking to somebody. For me, maybe I'm old fashioned, but I still think before I sign on my home insurance and my auto insurance, I want to, if I wasn't in the business, I'm going to want to talk to someone that's licensed and a professional, just like you would a banker or a financial planner, to say, hey, before I hit the button to buy this policy for 2000, did I pick the right coverages? Am I covered properly? Did I miss anything? I still think that is predominantly happens, and that's why that's why our folks are needed when customers get to that. Now, they've done a whole bunch of research that in the past they wouldn't have. So you have a much more educated consumer, and they know the ballpark pricing and stuff. But at the end of the day, they still want to talk to a licensed professional to get the best advice before they sign on the dotted line.
And you can let me know if you agree with this or not, but I kind of have a belief that a big saving, like on top of everything you said, a big saving grace, why people still really matter is because when something goes wrong, people like to yell at people. It's not quite as satisfying yelling at a
computer.
robot.
Yeah. I get mad at my computer more than I get mad at any person, though. I'll tell you that, man.
I hope a lot of people are yelling at us, but yeah, like I think, like even at claims, you can start a claim online, but you're going to get a call pretty quick and say, hey, I just made a claim online. Now tell me when somebody coming to my house, who's coming to my house, and when's my house going to get fixed, right?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, that's what we're delivering on, is that that promise to put them back where they started. And so I just think people understand the importance. We're talking about, like, someone's home is their biggest asset, probably, right? It's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they just don't want to rely on a chat bot or artificial intelligence to make sure that it's covered. And at the end of the day, I still think what we sell is peace of mind.
Yeah.
That's what insurance is peace of mind that if something happens, we got you. And you don't get peace of mind without talking to an individual that looks across from you and looks in your eyes and says, it's covered, right? I don't think any machine can do that.
That's
Yeah.
fair. So where
So,
do you think?
I mean, in terms of other brokerages, how do you think BrokerLink is kind of staying ahead of the curve on this? I know there's something you work hard on, so.
I think our scale allows us to do things that other brokers can't, not that they don't want to, because, we're just talking about AI, it's expensive. And so we're lucky enough with our scale to be efficient, to be more efficient because of sheer numbers. We have more markets. We have 100 markets. And so, a small broker might have 5, 6 markets. So we have way more choice so that we can fit the customer's needs into a little box compared to these 5 or 6, right? So scale allows you to do way more. I think that's first. Um, I think second, I'm biased, and so people laugh at this one. I still think we have one of the most talented teams in the industry. And so our structure is a huge advantage. We're in 240 towns across Canada. That's pretty cool when you look at it. We're not just in one town, we're not just in one province, we're in 240 communities. And our people live in those communities, so you'll see them at the supermarket. They're not going to hide from you, they know you. They play in their community, the kids and stuff, so you get to know them. And we give back to the community. I think over the last 10 years, we've given back over 5 million through United Way back into communities and things like that. So I think that's a pretty good value proposition that we have. I'm not saying it's better than other brokers, but it's unique to us because of our size and scale. And so that's pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah, so we'll just get on to another section here. Now, we'll try not to get you any trouble here, but these are like some
Yeah.
of the things where, we kind of want to know, like, what are some of your biggest pain points in the industry today? What would you want to see kind of change about the insurance industry as a whole?
Wow.
If you had a magic wand.
I look, I think without getting into trouble or anything, this is not rocket science, but connectivity with markets is a pain point. We're behind other industries, and some people have to double entry, triple entry. So
Mhm.
technology, not in a broker's office, but between the broker and the manufacturer, between the broker and the insurance company, could could absolutely be improved. Now everybody has their own unique system, but like if we want to do a commercial quote, we have to go into 3 or 4 systems if we want to, you know, and I think that's I don't know if that'll ever be solved, I'll be honest with you. Everybody's more proprietary, but there's not an industry uh, um, solution right now. It could change with AI and things like that. So there are things in that make it tougher on brokers than other industries. Um, Other than that, I just think it's a great community.
Mm.
I find hard to pick at. We're not perfect, and no industry is, but there's care for people. I've found. I've worked for 4 or 5 companies too before my IFC days, right? So it's not like I'm just looking at it at a lens from the company I've worked for the last 25 years. But there's a care for people in this industry. Even though it's a big industry, it's a small industry. You get to know people, and there are values. You guys know we have values at BrokerLink, but the whole industry is a small community, and they take care of themselves. And even though it's hard competition, and you want to win and beat the guy across the street, but there's respect at the end of the day, and we get along. And so I just think it's so cool. I don't look at it as what issues do we have more so than um, where we're at. Maybe the other thing I would say is the regulation.
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm a more free capitalist, but I think some provinces should open it up and let brokers and insurance companies compete more. I think companies and brokers can win on on service and technology and experience and pricing, rather than having regulators tell us, this, and that, and regulating our products quite heavily in some provinces. So I think that could be better, but I understand it. They want it to be affordable, but I think an open market will make it affordable because people have to compete harder.
Yeah, I mean, BC has probably the highest insurance rates in the country, and they have one insurer, that's the government. So, yeah.
Right? So,
Is there anything like outside of like opening it up? Is there any other like regulatory thing that you'd like to change in the industry? Like where it's kind of like, I wish they didn't really like bring that in, or or go back to something before. Or, yeah.
yeah, I'll keep that to myself for now. I don't want to get on the wrong side of some folks that I might end up talking to in a couple of weeks about. I do have a few things in my mind that I would like to see changed. I'm going to be honest with you. Um, I think as an advisor, if someone hires a broker to take care of their insurance needs, the broker, in conjunction with the customer, should be able to make changes. Um, and especially if the customer agrees that let the broker speak on my behalf. Right now, the regulation ties your hands on, you can't send, if you think a customer has to have a water change, for example, you have to talk to the customer. Where I think it should be a bit more open, where the customer gives you the right to say, hey, if there's a change, I trust you to give me the coverage, and it's not negative optioning and stuff like that. It's hard to call a million customers and tell them, well, this is a little change, and will you give me permission to add it? I think that has to flow more naturally, especially for bigger brokers who have big clients and maybe can't get to every single one, but are still acting in the best interest of their clients, right?
How do you feel that DCP, direct compensation, has changed the industry?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Okay.
I think if I comment, I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because people, it's
It's
choice,
a
right?
debatable topic in the insurance world. Yeah.
Well, you look at in Ontario, we're going to get reform in 2026, and in Alberta, the reform's coming in 2027, and that's going to take thousands and thousands of hours for both insurance companies and brokers to explain to their clients, and there's got to be an easier way.
Right. So another question now, customer education. I mean, your client education. How do you feel that is today? And do you feel like it could be something better and there's something better we all could be doing in terms of making
Yeah.
sure our clients understand their product?
I think absolutely that is a gap. I'm not sure anybody does it really, really well. I think it's a balance because, we have the automation to send out a newsletter once a week, once a month, once a quarter, once a year.
Yeah.
But you also have to respect the customer. Where is that junk mail to them? And they're,
Yeah.
like, I'm in the industry, and when my renewal comes and it's this thick, you guys, I throw it in, I look at the price, how much it went up.
Yeah.
I look at what my monthly payment is, and then I throw I rip up the pink slips from the one page, and then I throw the entire document into my desk, and I don't look at it again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm in the industry, so I know what's covered, what's not. But 90% of the people aren't in the industry. They get this big, huge contract. Nobody reads them.
It's scary when
Yeah.
somebody does and they call you page by page and they want to
You're
talk about
surprised,
the
right?
page.
You're surprised
You're
when that
scared.
happens.
You're scared. You don't know what to do. Yeah. You're like, oh gosh,
So
you're reading it with them.
the
Yeah.
good thing is they trust their broker.
Right.
Do that for them. And good brokers, the people trust them, they should, and that's great, and that's why you keep customers, right?
Right.
So what is that balance where we want to educate our consumers, but still not give them junk mail, or they say, you know what, you're my professional advisor, you let me know, and then that's it, right? Now,
Right.
I think where some companies do better than others is mitigation. Like, some companies now warn you there's going to be a storm coming, or you better do this so there's not a sewer backup. Here are some interesting tips. Get your home ready for the winter.
Mhm.
Do this to prevent water loss. Do this to prevent, those things I think can do better, but we've got to find a way to get to that customer so that they look at it on their time and their way. So it's no longer sending, remember the bulk mails where you send a pamphlet or something? Nope, that's garbage. That's going to go right into the recycling bin. Nobody's going to look at it. But can I push something digitally to all my customers and say, hey, in Atlantic Canada, we are looking like in a week that we're going to get a huge remnants from the hurricane or some flooding. Do this, this, and this, like an alert. I think that would be cool. I would at least read it and say, okay, am I in the path or not? And do I need to
Mm.
do anything, right? So those are things that I think the brokers and the companies that do that better and reach the customer the way they want to be reached, I think they'll separate themselves from those that don't. And for us, it's to, we've collected everybody's texts and emails. And for us now is to say, okay, hey, what's the right amount of balance that we'll send you and when do you want to be notified? And so, forest fires, right? Like they didn't exist to the extent they do today,
Right.
30, 40 years ago with climate change and everything else. And so we can be an alert. I mean, we can say, hey, might not come to you, but right now it's how many kilometers away from you. Here's some of the things you can do proactively to put yourself in the best place possible, right? So there are different things we can do. Um, we've got to find the right balance and say, okay, how do we reach that customer?
Right on. Now, Joel, we want to respect your time in the hour. So, Matt, if you're cool with it, I think it's a good time to move along to our 10 questions round.
I just have one last question for Joe before
Sure.
we do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, sure.
Is just because I kind of want to leave like the big chat on there. So 25-year-old starts working in the insurance industry today,
Right.
and they look up to Joe and they're like, holy smokes, how do I get to be the president of a company someday? That's the way I want to work up. Outside of the classic, just work hard. What's the advice that you'd give them of like, how does someone go from starting to Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I never thought I'd be president of a company. Come on.
Hmm.
There's so much involved, including luck and being at the right. Yes, hard work for sure, but I'm going to tell you guys a funny story, and then I'll tell you what I think they should do. I failed kindergarten,
Okay.
and I got to be president of one of the biggest brokers in Canada. That's pretty cool. So when I mentor kids now, I start with that. I came from Italy when I was 2.5 years old. And my parents didn't know many people, so they surrounded themselves with other Italians. So until I went to kindergarten, I didn't speak English because nobody could teach me. And so we were in an area where there is a lot of Italian population in Niagara Falls, where I went to school. And so in kindergarten, there's probably 8 of us that were of Italian descent in similar shoes as I am, and then other kids. And the 8 of us got whatchamacallit, back then they failed you, but they left you back for a year. So the
Yeah.
rest of the class went to grade 1, and we had to repeat kindergarten. I wasn't dumb. I just didn't know the language, and it took a little longer. So, but I start with that story. I'm president of a pretty cool company right now, and I failed kindergarten. So I think the lesson there for me is anybody can do it. Now you need a lot of luck. You need a lot of mentoring. You need to do a lot of things. The tips I would give someone young, 25, is put your head down, take risk, learn the business, whatever it is, insurance, automotive, whatever you're going into, learn it really well and take risks in your career. Take an assignment here, get transferred here, try to get all the experiences you can that makes you understand the world that you're working in much better. And then with some luck and some success, who knows? Anybody can get to where I got. That's how I would explain that.
That's a great answer.
Great answer.
All right. Now we're going to get
Yeah.
to some questions. Some of these are smart, some of these are silly. Okay. So they're just fun
I'm going to
curveball
do really
questions.
good on silly. I don't know about the smart ones.
All right. Okay. So, Matt, I'll kick it off, bud.
Okay.
Okay. Joe, the first job you ever had.
Laundry for a motel, doing laundry for a motel.
Right on.
Okay.
Was that in Ontario?
Niagara Falls, big hotels, big visitor, what you call tourists.
Oh yeah.
13 years old doing laundry for a 28-room motel. My mom was the chambermaid. I was the laundry person.
Oh, that's cool. Right on. Jeez.
All right, question number 2. So, what is a risk that you took that really paid off?
I left a real good job to start a brokerage from scratch with 3 others and no money.
Okay.
No money.
Okay.
Ooh. The no money part is the scary part there. My gosh, yeah.
Starting a broker from total scratch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
We have to raise money, everything like that.
Right. Yeah. Your opinion, what's the most underrated Canadian city and why?
Underrated city. Oh, wow.
Could be anywhere in Canada, just surpass your expectations.
You know what? I'm gonna go back to uh, I'm gonna do a promise because it's as big as a city. Prince Edward Island.
Ah.
Okay.
We went there with my family and spent a week there. It was so peaceful, so relaxing. We thought we were back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, what a cool place. And I know it's a province and not a city, but it's small and we saw a lot. We had some great seafood, but we connected as a family, played board games and stuff because there were, we had rented a house near the water there. There wasn't a lot to do. There was no nightlife. We weren't right in the like Vancouver's a cool city, Toronto, they're all cool cities, but man, that was just connecting and that was a real cool experience for me. So that one comes to mind.
That's
Great
great.
answer.
Right. So, question number 4, if you were an animal, what animal would you be?
Lion.
There you
Lion.
go.
Okay.
Lion. All right.
I want to be king of the jungle.
There you go. Okay. Are you a beer guy, wine guy, cocktail? What's your drink of choice? This is a show
Yeah,
founded on beer.
I'm all, you know what? It's not, this isn't the sellout. It's truth. I'm all three
Oh yeah.
with my buddies on a hot afternoon, pound a couple beers, no problem. Go to a nice dinner, restaurant, couple couples, nice glass of wine. And when you're really having fun, like I did, where was I? We were at a wedding, and a couple of my best friends were there. We did pounded some shots and cocktails, and
Good stuff. Good
so
stuff.
I think it's because I'm not a big drinker. I'm a social drinker, and so depends on the audience and what I'm doing and where I'm at. So I
Right.
don't discriminate.
That's great. Question number 6, what is a movie or book that you really enjoyed this year?
This year, if I go back a few years,
Yeah, sure.
um, there's a I like movies that are based on a real life, but they add some drama to it. And so I watched it a couple years ago. It's an older movie. Have you guys ever watched Invincible with Mark Wahlberg?
Yep.
I don't think I have.
Based on just a normal Joe guy went on as a walk up
Yeah.
a walk up at a Philadelphia Eagles camp. No college, no university ball, nothing, just high school, and made the team. And Disney did a movie on the story, and it's just one where someone worked their ass off and through all kinds of doubters and stuff, and still got to play in the NFL for a couple years. Just a feel good. Now I'm
Great
getting all
movie.
mushy, but it's just a feel good movie.
Right
It
on.
was a great movie. It hurt my soul as a Patriots fan to see another Patriots fan play a character who played for the Eagles, but other than that, great. Yeah. Mike,
All
number
right.
7, over to you.
Yeah. Something you're surprisingly bad at. Something you just suck at doing. It could be any facet of life. Yeah.
Reading my wife. I get into so much trouble because I'm like, I shouldn't have said that, right?
I don't think that's necessarily specific to you, but sure.
You ask me what I suck at. Sometimes I read totally wrong, and yeah, okay, missed on that one. I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this. My 2 girls, when we were growing up, they would text me, "Dad, Mom got her hair done. Just remark at dinner that it's new hair." So they always had my back, which is kind of cool. But that stuff just gets just flies right over my head. I just wouldn't think of stuff like that, right?
All right. So question number 8, this is really important. So you've been in risk management pretty much, that career most of your life. How much would you wager that the Blue Jays are going to win the World Series?
You want a percentage instead of a dollar amount?
Sure.
Sure.
However you want to answer.
I think they're going. I would wager high percentage that they're going to go to the World Series. I like they just crushed the Yankees, and
Yeah.
it was wonderful watching last night. I think they have a huge leg up on whether it's Seattle or Detroit. I think they'll crush them. I am worried about the Dodgers, guys. Okay,
Oh.
that team is just based on money. Like their payrolls, I don't know how many hundreds of millions more than everybody else, because baseball is one of the few sports without a cap left, right? And so that one worries me, but you know what? So what? I give them a 50% chance of winning against the Dodgers. If it's any of the other teams, like if the Dodgers get upset, I like their chances. I think they got some mojo going. I think they're like a team of destiny. Nobody expected them. So I'm hoping, guys.
Good answer.
We hoping.
Great answer.
We're all hoping.
Yeah.
What are your favorite meals? This could be from any part of
Oh
life.
yeah, a meal, like a
Yeah.
favorite meal. I'm a big pasta guy.
Oh yeah.
My waist says to me you can't eat it a lot, but man, good pasta, yeah.
Something in particular, like a plate.
No,
you like?
my wife actually makes homemade pasta with the machine now. She learned that
Yes.
from her mom, which is
Oh, cool.
that is just it melts in your mouth when it's fresh.
Yeah.
100%. Way better.
Gnocchi, how's that for a
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My
something
kid
like
loves that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So question number 10 before we get to the last call here. So why, kind of quickly sum it up, why do you feel that people should consider working in insurance?
No regrets.
No regrets. Okay.
If I were just to sum it up, you will have no regrets.
Awesome. I like
Very
that.
cool. All right. This is what we call this the last call. It's the question we ask every one of our guests. I don't know how many episodes we're in now. 125, Matt, roundabout.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So we say, what's one piece of advice you were given in your life that you'd like to share with us and others listening today?
Yeah. Just be kind. You don't know what people are going through or their journey. People struggle, don't know where they're coming from. And I think this world is just too quick to now judge and hate. Someone once told me, just be kind. They told me if you walk into a room of 100 people and everybody puts their problems in a bucket, you wish that you took yours back probably 99% of the times. Because
Okay, I
of
like
what
that.
people are going through. So I think, unfortunately, in today's world, be kind is kind of the minority.
Mm.
So it's simple, but I think it's more appropriate today than it has ever been.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Joe, this was awesome. Cheers to you, my friend. This was a great conversation.
Cheers,
And
guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate
thank you
it.
very much. And come back for a second
check
round
off- I
anytime.
can check off something off my bucket list now.
There you go.
Thank
We appreciate it. Thanks
you,
again.
guys.
See ya.
Take care, okay?
Bye.
Here.
Cheers.